Hello and welcome back to another episode of TEW9. We are here for Monday Night Raw with the fallout from last week when Sami Zayn became the #1 contender for the World Heavyweight Championship and Bronson Reed took out Braun Strowman. Let's have a look at what we've got going on tonight. So we opened the show on the pre-show. We're in front of 6,800 people in British Columbia in Canada. And we opened the show with a subpar bout that had little heat with Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows defeating Latino World Order in Dragon Lee and Joaquin Wilde in 11:08 when Luke Gallows pinned Joaquin Wilde with a magic killer. Got a 57 rating. Joaquin Wilde struggling to keep up with everybody, so he had a 42. Dragon Lee with a 60, which is pretty good. And Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson are preparing to turn heel with AJ Styles. After that, in a terrible pre-show match, Katana, Chance and Caden Carter defeated the Unholy Union in 13:03 when Caden Carter pinned Isla Dawn with a Pretty Reckless. Gets a 49 rating. This is just to see how these teams are doing and preparing to bring them in for a shot at the tag team titles at some point in the future. Then in a pre-show bout that had subpar wrestling and non-existent crowd heat, Lexis King defeated Akira Tozawa in 5 minutes 35 with a tornado DDT. I am considering bringing Lexis King up to the main roster at some point soon. I quite like his character, and his even in AEW I quite liked him. I think you can tell a story with him being second generation, so that's what we're going to look to do. And I believe in our final pre-show bout that had a decent reaction from the crowd but subpar wrestling, Karrion Kross defeated Rey Mysterio in 13:21 by submission with a cross jacket. They didn't click, so it made for a bit of an awkward bout, getting a 54 rating, but being on the pre-show doesn't matter too much, and it's a note for us to not really book a main show or a storyline between those two. And we get into the main show with a 55 rated segment with Dom and Liv opening the show, stating that they're the best, most dominant couple in WWE history. Zelina interrupts them after Liv's comments last week about how I'm giving you a title shot because I want to just prove that I'm better than Rhea Ripley. Zelina comes out and says, I'm not going to just be a statistic for you to put a little notch on and say I'm better than Rhea. And then Adam Pearce comes out before Liv can respond, tells her she needs to find a partner because Liv last week pissed off Zelina and Rhea, so they are going to be a tag team tonight, facing Liv and a partner of her choosing. Next up in a bout that had terrible wrestling and non-existent crowd heat, Bronson Reed defeated Patrick Scott in 4 minutes 42, gets a 33 rating, a death drop driver to finish the bout, and then after that, Bronson Reed goes on to hit another 2 tsunamis to Patrick Scott. So no sign of Braun Strowman as of yet, but he might be coming back very, very soon. Backstage, Rhea tells Zelina she's going to help make sure that Liv is hurt tonight, and we've got 2 weeks to go until Crown Jewel. She's going to make sure that Liv is hurting when they get to Crown Jewel. That gets a 42 rating for us. I believe we're back to the ring next. Not yet. We've got Adam Pearce announcing that Gunther and Sami Zayn will have Pick Your Poison matches next week. Gets a 47 rating. Back in the day, like in 2006, 2007 type of time, WWE quite often used to do Pick Your Poison. So Gunther picks an opponent for Sami Zayn. Sami picks an opponent for Gunther. I used to love when they did that, but they don't really do them anymore. I quite often use them because I think it's a nice, simple way to get a rivalry going. And they're quite fun as well because you can link back to stories that you've done in the past and things like that. I think it's great. So that's what we've got next week for Sami and Gunther. And next, in a bout that had decent wrestling but not much heat, Ilya Dragunov defeats Ludwig Kaiser in 15 minutes and 5 seconds by pinfall with a Torpedo Moscow. The guys went out to steal the show. Not really managing to do that with a 57 rating. It's not fantastic. Crowd heat is unclear. But we do have Gunther and Sami Zayn making an appearance next, which gets a 63 rating. Not what we would have liked, but Gunther is basically really annoyed with Ludwig Kaiser for losing, starts yelling at him. Sami comes out and just says to Gunther, I hope you're going to be as harsh to yourself as you are to Ludwig when I beat you at Crown Jewel. Gunther, absolutely raging, just screams at him, I promise you, Sami, you will never beat me again. WrestleMania was a fluke. It will not happen. So Sami just trying to get in Gunther's head. He knows Gunther's stronger than him. And the way you beat somebody who's stronger than you is you get the mind games going. And that's what Sami Zayn's trying to do, heading towards Crown Jewel. Next up backstage, we've got Liv speaking to Dom about who she could find as a partner. Dom's kind of listing off names. Literally pretty much everyone on the roster, and Liv's going through them going, no, not her. Or she could be an option, not her. I'm not going to tell you who she's picked just yet. Next up in a decent match, the Judgment Day defeat the Awesome Truth in 1651 when Finn Balor pins R-Truth with a double knee gutbuster after R-Truth and The Miz miscommunicated. So a 69 rating, which is pretty good for this show. 69 rating, which is pretty good for us. And it continues to tease The Miz and R-Truth having that little bit of dissension between them. Obviously, last week you had R-Truth saying, oh, we've got a friendly match with the Judgment Day. And Miz is like, what do you mean a friendly match? That they don't like you? R-Truth still thinks he's part of the Judgment Day. They're not interested. They beat him, and Miz just looking a bit annoyed after the match. But first of all, Damian Priest comes out, chases Finn out the arena. Finn and JD McDonough are running through the crowd as Damian Priest tries to chase them down, gets a 56 rating. And now we've got The Miz looking annoyed at R-Truth, and he looks like he's about to attack R-Truth. He's lining up, ready to just kick him, ready to then hit the skull-crushing finale, anything. He's ready to attack him, and the lights go out. When the lights come back on, Uncle Howdy is just stood in front of The Miz. R-Truth has disappeared. Miz freaks out, just gets out the ring, starts to run away. But every time he tries to go over one part of the crowd, and Dexter Lumis is stood there. He runs to another part, and Eric Rowan's there. Runs to the bottom right corner, and there's Joe Gacy. Runs to the bottom left, and there's Nikki Cross. And finally, he just sprints up the ramp as they all kind of stand at the bottom of the ramp together, watching on. Uncle Howdy has told the roster, don't turn on people who care about you. And because it looked like The Miz was going to, they decided, now we're going to step in, try and remind you once more, don't do it, Miz. Because if you do it, you're going to have us to answer to. Following that, Sheamus says, Pete Dunne, if you want revenge, come and face him in the ring like a man. So that is going to be booked in for next week. Pete Dunne versus Sheamus on Monday Night Raw next week. Now after that, Rhea and Zelina make their way to the ring, ready for the main event. Liv comes out initially alone with Dom, but she announces, well, you might not think it, but I have got a tag team partner. And just as she says that, the Pure Fusion Collective attack Rhea and Zelina. Sonya is the partner. I think that might be a lie. We are turning Zoe and Shayna Baszler. Their turns don't go down well because apparently it was too soon after their last turn, but these guys are a heel group. I'm not sure what happened with them or why they weren't heel. Gets a 51 rating. I believe we ended up with Shayna as the partner. We'll find out in a moment. It was Zoe. So I wrote that Sonya was going to be the partner and then found out that Sonya had an injury. So rather than risk her while she was recovering from injury, we brought Zoe Stark in instead. But in a decent match, Zelina Vega and Rhea Ripley defeat Liv Morgan and Zoe Stark in 1633 when Rhea Ripley submits Zoe Stark with a prison. Gets a 63 rating overall, and Rhea Ripley head and shoulders above everybody else. However, the key thing here, Liv Morgan not involved in the pin, and Zelina Vega not picking up the win. So, still not really gaining momentum for Zelina, although she is on the winning side. After the match, Liv is retreating as Zelina and Rhea stand tall. The Pure Fusion Collective sat down by the announce table, checking on Zoe Stark. But a 60 rating to end the show, and a 52 rate show overall. That's not gone well. So we've got more networks unhappy. I think at the moment, most of our networks need us to be like 55 rated. Yeah, 55, 52s, that kind of area. 68 there from AB1. Let's see if they can adjust the time slot to make it. Let's go for late night where we just need a 59. Most of the time we are better than that show that we've had there, and hopefully we're going to start seeing that improve across the board. But if you have enjoyed that, please do leave a like down below. Comment what you think we should do through this save. Subscribe if you're enjoying the content, and thank you very much for watching.